You're watching Eswatini TV News at 10. I'm Nathalisa Tola alongside Stalogan in the first. Here's a look at our headlining stories tonight. The regional level of the culture competition under the Ingwenyama Cup has come to an end following the rotation of the competition in all the 4 regions of the kingdom. The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thusile Dladla, has officially commissioned the training of enumerators tasked with collecting data in 15 Tinkhundla centers in the Shiselweni region. The Minister of Economic Planning has requested the House of Assembly's Portfolio Committee on his ministry to approve its budget of over 2 billion emalangeni for the financial year 2025 to 2026. And now the news in detail. The original level of the culture competition under the Ingwenyama Cup has come to an end following the rotation of the competition in all the 4 regions of the kingdom. Speaking during the last leg of the competition, which was held in Sitegi, Ingwenyama Cup chairperson, His Royal Highness Prince Hlangabeza, applauded all the chiefdoms in the regions for making the competition a success and also revealed that through the competition, eMaswati are able to learn more about culture.
The regional culture competition under the Ingwenyama Cup has been successfully completed. The competition ended in the Lubombo region following its rotation within the 4 regions of the kingdom. The tournament is an initiative by His Majesty King Mswati III that has been made as a tool to develop culture and also combine culture with soccer. Chiefdoms are competing for 1.2 million emalangeni in culture tournament from a regional level. eMaswati from the Lubombo region and chiefs came out in their numbers to support competitors from communities within the Lubombo region. There are about 9 Timbongi who took part in the competition in this region, 13 Lutango groups, 17 teams of Ingadla. Indlamu had 15 teams, while the category of Laqebetelago had only 2. To ensure that culture is instilled in the future generation of the country, young girls and boys were also given an opportunity to perform under the Ingadla and Timbongi categories. Sento Dlamini became number 1 under the Timbongi category in this region. Gamkweli Chiefdom took the first position under Ingadla and Indlamu, while Gapunga took the 4th position under Laqebetelago and Maqecheni under Lutango. The chairperson of the Ingwenyama Cup board, His Royal Highness Prince Hlangabeza, says the competition is not only about dancing for fun, but it is also about disseminating information on culture and heritage.
badlala ibhola bashaya kamelathi ngomatabo ngetingatani bajayiva luhlobo lonke banako yonke imithetho yayo yonke lemidlalo yabo.
The Prince also highlighted a concern over the cows that are always found storing throughout the roads within the Lubombo region, which he said it is now disturbing that such is threatening the closure of the King Mswati III International Airport.
Boshifu bobabe niyamuva kambe MVA ungathi uyalinamathisela kambe liqala umbuzo ke bobabe kambe boshifu ukuthi kambe bangabonga yini ukuthi kuthiwe le airport ivalekile ngoba nalokugitha lokwentiwako la sigitha ngoba sithembele e-airport ukuthi leti vakashi titawuletha bosumbulwane kambe titawukhamba kiyo le airport laphayi kepha bambamba uma singagitha nje sigithe ukuthi eMaswati atawubukela naodwana uthi kambe vele kambe sekwaba ngiko.
MVA Chief Executive Officer Mfanibela Mnyeni extended gratitude to all the participants in the regions for the effort they made towards the success of the competition.
Lesikubonga konje mfana enkosi kuthi kuto tonke letindzawo sibonile umdlandla lomkhulu nokutimisela kuyo yonke lemango lebeyikhona lokwenta ke lokuthi nakithi kushicileleke ukuthi lo mdlalo lo vele usengatini yeMaswati onke bayawuthanda futhi bayatimisela ngako.
Since this was the last leg of the regional level of the Ingwenyama Cup under culture, those who obtained the first position in all the categories in the regions will compete during the finals at Somhlelo National Stadium on the day that will be blessed and commissioned by His Majesty King Mswati III. On the news, I'm Polile Mazia with Zweli Masugu in Sitegi.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thusile Dladla, is back in the country after partaking in the funeral of Namibia's former president, Sam Nujoma. Nujoma was laid in his final resting place on Saturday, and the Deputy Prime Minister, who was accompanied by the Honourable Minister of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs, Wanzima, represented His Majesty King Mswati III in the final farewell ceremony for the former president. Upon her arrival at the King Mswati III International Airport, the Deputy Prime Minister delivered remarks on her trip.
Sambe kahle ingwenyama besithumile emakhosi akithi ukuthi sambe sohlanganyela kanye nemave eAfrika nangaphandle kweAfrika ngekuhanjelwa ngilwaletha ukukhululeka sive saseNamibia kulandzela kwekuthi besiphethwe ngemabhono emva sesiphethwe ngilabanyenti emabhono abaphatha ngalendlela abenze baphatha ngayo bonke abantu lebanze babaphethe walwa ke wagubula indlela waze walikhulula le live la kube kunene besofihla yena ke bekuyofihla liqhawe empeleni ngiyajabula nje kwekuthi singeMaswati siyajabula kwekuthi ingwenyama besonzele kuleli qhawe yatfola kumunya lokuthite kulo njengalokushitwe nje kunene ukuthi uma siyolila lapha sisho lokuthi yena ulahlekelwe ngibabe sive sangona silahlekelwe ngibabe bekathi uma afikile le amvisa kuseni ngabo 3 athi abahambe bawudingela amfundzisa ngalamanye amagama ngoba phela nayo ingwenyama besathanza uthwala lo mbuso wakangwane ukuthi kuyabeketelwa uma utawushaya inyamatane uyabeketela uzokhona kuyishaya nangembala sakubona kubeketela lokhulu kwayingwenyama ngenteka bengakaboni kunene kusukhule kumunyako but uma sesiva lendzaba yakhe ngase ke sesiyathatha sithi 1+1 sithi wo njengemfulomdzala bekasifundisa ini singeMaswati awulihambe kahle liqhawe mave mhlaba bekaphelele onke wena bo Cuba liyamsita ekutheni batholele inkhululeko nalamanye imave ke khona lapha kaSadak naka-AU. Nje hawu ufihleke kahle kakhulu. And uma sahamba bekuhamba vele traditional leader embili. Kubonakala kwekuthi uvela ebukhosini. Njalo kwathi uSinamandela unengadi ebukhosi naye wadlubunzeka wenda live lase-South Africa la khona ukuthi likhululeke. Kukhona lokukhona imfihlo lekhona ngemakhosi.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thulisile Dladla, has officially commissioned the training of enumerators tasked with collecting data in 15 Tinkhundla centers in the Shiselweni region for the development of the National Dynamic Social Registry. The event took place at Mbangweni and Shiselweni 2 in Nkundla.
The development of the social registry will be trialed in Shiselweni for now, whereby enumerators will move from household to household, collecting the household socio-economic data, which will assist the DPM's office in providing better service delivery to eMaswati to improve their quality of life. The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thulisile Dladla, has said the data collection will commence from the 17th of March to the 18th of April 2025. A total of 300 young people from Shiselweni have been employed as enumerators.
Objective yale social registry nokuqondzisa tinto. Sati ukuthi simo selive likuphi. Uma athe eMaswati ayakhala ngendzaba yokuthi alambile. Mangaphi imbambambamba vele la alambile. Uside nalokuthi laba tawuhamba badalisa lonke lelive. Babuye bathi nse. America sekhokhile kude manje USAID. Kude PEPFAR. Asathi ukuthi ungaphi lokutawukhwesha. Uma sitawuchubeka sihambe nje sidalisa sibhulukele phela ngesikhathi sidalisa ngithi. Nale AIDS nayo iyanza. Tinsanza netiyanza. Bantwana labangondleki bayanza. Udala ke manje inzondo ngoba uthi ongafuna ukuthandwa ngumntali wakhe. Utasita ke nomsebenzi ukuthi sibade mbambambamba ukuthi bobani laba labadzinga lolusido, bobani laba vulnerable. Mangaphi ma-orphan bamba. Mangaphi lawe kwakhiwa. Itakwenda ukuthi sathi uhulumende ukuthi sithatha maphi ama-decision. Uma sibhajeta sikanye neparlamente le mali vele siyibhekisa kuphi. Singayijiki nje emoyeni. Nyalo nje lesikwenda kumasakha letindu siva ngabo bahlonishwa. Bese sihamba siyohlola ke sikhanze ukuthi liqiniso. Vele uyathi kufanele ukuthi singazi siyofika kubo. Singene kudata letasitshela kwekuthi eShiselweni 1 labahlala ku stick and mud. Bahlaliswa yini?
Chief Sienda Nenzima, who was representing chiefs from Shiselweni, has pleaded with the Maswati to refrain from abandoning structures or projects that are funded by government, as this creates a huge burden on government. Thandokuhle Mdluli, Eswatini TV News, Mbangweni.
The Honourable Minister of Economic Planning, Dr. Tambo Gina, has requested the House of Assembly's Portfolio Committee on his ministry to approve its budget of over 2.2 billion for the financial year 2025 to 2026. The Honourable Minister says this will enable the ministry to continue implementing developmental programs including poverty reduction in the country.
After the Honourable Minister of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development, Dr. Tambo Gina, had delivered his preamble to the performance report of his ministry for the year 2024-2025, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, His Royal Highness Prince Lindani, requested members of the committee to debate the report.
Bamba vele le mali is worth how much? And must negate nale timeline ukuthi na-October surely sabe sikhiphile i-final certificate ye-ICC. Support elohlelo lokwenda lawo khonkolo lama-feeder roads. Ngabe Honourable Minister, would you be willing to put your head on the block ukuthi ungazana nje uresign kufika October yenza akaphele? Would you want to resign? Siqale ICC last year wathi ngokugcina ngizi
bedlala ngale parliament afike ukuthi azende lokhu namhla sidlala amabhaca wekugcina nci umbuzo lomkhulu uthi njengalokhu vele nemhlaba wonke uyashintsha economic planning le itiko laka economic planning beluleka ukuthi ku-21 going forward babuke ukuthi le live lifanele lendeni kuze litokhona ukusustaina.
His Royal Highness Prince Lindani also made some interventions and requested the minister to give some responses.
Minister, private sector led project ikakhulu la fake khathi la we-energy usinotele lapha ukuthi kunale program eya 13.5 megawatts i-hydro lo amaguduza nama-programs abo-solar nama-programs e-biomass kagezi. Siyadumisa nje minister kulamalanga laphelile sibonile neNgonyama bekumaguga belitiko laka-natural resources nebasemagesini bavele bayikhombisa i-expansion program le taba khona lapha kuyo yona le program yaka-hydro.
Le ndaba ye-liquidity is not small, ayisiyo encane. Umntwana mkhulu ukuthi uyasentshela ukufaka isitifiketi ngaFebruwari ushaye ngoDisemba ungakabhadali.
The minister then asked to submit written responses. Reporting, Mbongwa Dube, Lobamba.
The Ministry of Education is determined to improve the country's education system so that it is competitive when purged against that of developed countries in the world. The Honourable Minister made these remarks when requesting the House of Assembly's Portfolio Committee on his ministry to pass its budget of over 4 billion malangini for the year 2025 to 2026.
When delivering the preamble to the Ministry of Education's performance report for the year 2024-2025, the Honorable Minister of Education, Owen Nxumalo, explained about some of the programs undertaken by the ministry during the period under review aimed at improving the country's education system.
Ihambe kahle kakhulu ke le ndzaba leyo ya 4-year program. Nyalo ke sesitawupilota ku4 itikolo letitabe setenta lama A-levels. Lomnyalo tako ke vele sitabe seke vele sayirola out. Siyabonga ukuthi 284 wabothishela sikhonile ukuthi bangene babe permanent. Ema-curriculum ethu suwende kube ngilolo kufunwa i-industry labantwana bakhone ngisho kucala emabhizinisi nasebaphumile nalete buchwepheshe ke sidimisele lokuthi sitifake.
The chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Mancoba Sihlongonyane, then requested members of the committee to make interventions.
Inzoyisukumele neBhahayi siyakholwa ukuthi umsindvo indvuna ayufuni nathi silive asiwufuni umsindvo.
Engudzeni bantwana basahamba over 20 kilometers nabaya esikolweni. Labanye ngivile ngetulu kwa 20 kilometers. Ngisho lokuncane lokufishela lokuna 8 years.
Sidinga abo grade C, but imali ye grant niyayiyekela ijike. And we even told ukuthi kukhona nje lebekemile atitshele ukuthi akayifuni.
Njalo makuvela ukhuluma ngeuniversity nje siyadumisa. Ingabe lalamanye ama-college boScott, Bongwani, Olimkokwini iba kuphi ibudget yakho noma ikulo 4 point something 4.86 million noma ilapho yini ngoba ngiyayibona le university yavela ngithi ngandanana.
Ukuthi wabe sekuyangcoliswa kuthiwa corporal partition to make it look bad. Ngabe itsini assessment? Are the results forthcoming now than previously? Are the pupils behaving now like previously? Hasn't this contributed to the rise in gangsterism? They can do as they please and no one will do anything to them.
At the time of compiling this report, the Honorable Minister of Education, Owen Nxumalo, was yet to respond to the Portfolio Committee members' interventions. Reporting, Mbongwa Dube, Lobamba.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission has reviewed the 2023 elections and will now focus on educating Amaswati on the Commission and voting rights. The Commission's Vice Chairman, Sipho Tembe, says though the Commission received reports regarding challenges in the previous elections, some issues cannot be resolved by the EBC because its mandate is limited to election management and not community affairs. This was revealed during a meeting between the Commission and traditional leaders and at the Manzini region at the George Hotel in Manzini. As the Elections and Boundaries Commission met with chiefs on Monday, it provided training on the 2 legislative amendments governing the elections. This was done in partnership with the Human Rights Commission. EBC Vice Chairperson Sipho Tembe emphasized the importance of educating eMaswati about the election process as early as possible.
Sitokungcongcotha sitocela kubantu labadzala ukuthi libandla selicela kucala nyalo na 2025 kufundzisa.
Tembe says early preparedness is key, as this will promote peace and stability during the 2028 elections. He says oftentimes community councils decide not to bring certain issues to light with the hope of raising them with the EBC. He discourages this, adding that the EBC is responsible for elections and not matters related to community affairs. Some of the chiefs commented on the working relationship between the 2 commissions.
Indzaba kubathi mandule yavutha mandule ukuthi ayipheli ayitekeke emphakathini siyesibakhuthazela ukuthi bavalelise.
The chiefs highlighted concern about the role of the EBC in addressing election-related disputes and clarifying boundary issues. Others highlighted the need for more direct engagement between the Commission and eMaswati to avoid misunderstandings about electoral processes. They say that there is a need for education on voter rights and that the commissions should be transparent and efficient in community dialogues. In response to some, Human Rights Commission Deputy Commissioner Duduzile Nhlengetwa says that chiefs should understand how dispute resolutions are handled and how to intervene when conflicts arise.
So sikumbele unyene singakakubiki ukuthi siyesitike kanjani lezi ndzaba thina matifika commission. Ubeka bekile nje lazwane ukuthi silalela
She calls on chiefs to understand the legal framework for handling electoral disputes. Nhlengetwa adds that the Commission offers assistance in mediation and conflict resolution, which could be beneficial for chiefs when dealing with election-related complaints in their communities. Previously, under the 2013 Civil Registration Act, a person could qualify to vote after residing in a community for 3 months. However, under the new amendments in the 2023 Voter Registration Act and the 2023 Elections Act, voters are now required to re-register for elections, and a person must have lived in a community for at least 6 months to stand for elections. Reporting, I am Nathalie Tole, Temba Shabangu, Manzini. There are some businesses that were working with organizations funded by PEPFAR that will be heavily hit by the closure of some of the organizations because funding has been cut. Entrepreneurs supported under the fund will also be affected. The Executive Director of the Coordinating Assembly of Non-Governmental Organizations, Temugosi Dlamini, says despite that life-saving programs have not been stopped, the impact of the cuts will be felt in the business sector.
In instances where, for instance, the U.S. was helping an entrepreneur to source certain machinery for their business enterprise, you might find that that particular business enterprise will no longer benefit from that machinery. However, the nature of the project is that sometimes the project is partially grant funded and then partially loan, which means it's a local bank that comes with the counterpart funding. So some entrepreneurs have been saying that we have the counterpart funding already sitting in our accounts, but we're no longer having now the grant for us to be able to purchase the whole machinery that we need for our businesses, which means certain business people might now have to incur interest in the repayment obligations under conditions whereby they were not able to actually procure the equipment that they wanted.
Business Eswatini's Chief Executive Officer Inathi Dlamini says their board of directors will meet on Tuesday to assess the impact.
Will affect us as a private sector in many ways. Number one, you will be well aware that we're talking about here over 1.3 billion of aid that was coming our way, going to organizations that work sometimes within the private sectors and NGOs, organizations that were hiring people, that were sourcing things from suppliers. Some of them are members, caterers who were catering for their frequent meetings across this country. If you look at the multiplier effect of this aid of 1.3 billion, you will come up with an astronomical figure beyond the 1.3 billion. And if that is taken away completely from the market, you will feel the difference.
The Chief Executive Officer has also highlighted that they will work with government and different stakeholders to scale up their efforts of job creation, as employment opportunities that could be lost are around 4,000 if the funding is completely cut. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Fuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
And now let's have a look at our financial indicators.
Standard Bank.
Moving on to our sports news, shall we? Chad Ning, Haley Hoy and Luca Fraser were among the standout performers at the National Swimming Championships held this past weekend at Njabuleni School in Manzini. The competition began on Tuesday last week and concluded on Sunday.
The country's biggest swimming federation competition, the National Championships, lasted for 6 days, running from Tuesday last week to Sunday this past weekend. Once again, the nation's top swimmers delivered exceptional performances. In the men's senior category, Chad Ning, who trains in Plymouth, England, stood out. He competed in the 100-meter butterfly and expressed satisfaction with his performance, attributing his success to his training efforts.
Well, it was kind of just going through my processes, so getting to the competition, doing what I usually do, trying to stay consistent. Knowing that all the training that I've done beforehand, will come into play, regardless of how I feel on the day, and that kind of that confidence that it gives you is kind of one of my biggest things that I think I saw during this competition, and I think that having that structure behind me really helped.
In the women's senior category, Haley Ho excelled in the 400-meter freestyle, 200-meter freestyle, and 50-meter butterfly events.
I'm very happy with my performance overall, given that I didn't really taper for this competition, meaning I didn't, rest and stuff before, so I still had a full week of training. So I'm very happy with the performance I was able to give.
In the junior boys category, 14-year-old Luca Fraser from Njabuleni Seawolves emerged as a top performer.
Keeping fit, training and doing your best. I really think that I've been working hard to get where I am, and I really appreciate everyone who's been there for me through it. I'm hoping to go to Egypt in June. Really looking forward to that. I'm going to train hard and hopefully I get selected to go.
He competed in the 800 freestyle, 1,500 freestyle, 50-meter breaststroke, and 50-meter butterfly events. The SwimLab team was named the Team of the Year. The Federation expressed gratitude to all teams that contributed competitive swimmers and to the parents for their unwavering support. This year's competitions was proudly sponsored by Viva Beverages. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports, I'm Linda Dlamini. Mbabane.
That's all for now. Before I go, here's a reminder of our headlining stories. The regional level of the culture competition under the Ingwenyama Cup has come to an end following the rotation of the competition in all the 4 regions of the kingdom. The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Thusile Dladla, has officially commissioned the training of enumerators tasked with collecting data in 15 Tinkundla centers in the Shiselweni region. The Minister of Economic Planning has requested the House of Assembly's Portfolio Committee on his ministry to approve its budget of over 2 billion emalangeni for the financial year 2025 to 2026. And with that, it's a wrap. I'll leave you now with the weather update from myself and the crew. Thank you for your company. Good evening.